Hey everyone, this is Dale Mercer, the Aussie speaking guy, with another quick tip. This is to do with, are you turning your audience off unknowingly? You see, recently we had the So You Think You Can Dance show come to Australia, which is incredibly entertaining. It's an amazing show. And there's one panel of judges, and one of the judges himself has the habit of saying the words "yeah" at the end of his sentence. So he'll be judging somebody and say, you need to put more passion into your dance, yeah? And you need to look at your choreography, yeah? And you think, is this annoying me? Yeah, it is. And so you tend to turn off a little bit. And another example is when I was at a financial seminar, a young lady who was probably about 22 years of age, 23, presented the seminar, and her habit was, does that make sense? So at the end of most of her sentences, she'd say the words, does that make sense? And so this got incredibly annoying to the point where you switch off from the content itself and you start to count how many times she says the words, does that make sense? And it got so ridiculous that she'd even use simple analogies where she'd say, now let's say you have $10. Now that $10 you could spend either at a coffee shop or you could take that $10 and spend it at the movies. Does that make sense? And you're thinking, does that make sense? What are we, morons here? Of course it makes sense. So her habit was turning people off, and she didn't even know. That's the worst part about it. So as public speakers, myself included, I'm definitely not exempt from this, because I constantly watch myself and I tend to pick up on other people's habits if I'm not careful. Just in that So You Think You Can Dance, the other judge picked up that same habit because he's constantly around it. So by videotaping ourselves and also recording ourselves on an iPod while we present, it helps us to be able to listen and watch to make sure we're not picking up on habits which could be unknowingly turning off our audience. So make sure you record your presentations, both either visual or audio, and even ask a close friend to ask whether there's things which could be potentially turning your audience off. And that way, when you're in tune with it, then you stay connected to your audience.